Greetings and welcome everybody. My name's Doug Davis. I'm the Vice President of the Medenbach Foundation. Today I come from 15 Ferriston Road, Wayne, Pennsylvania. This over here was General Medenbach's last residence from the time he was the President Emeritus until he passed. Behind me you'll see the clock tower. I have a threefold purpose today. One, to let you know who I am and my dedication to Valley Forge. Two, I want to let you know why I have joined the Medenbach Foundation and why I think it's important for you to be involved. And last, since we have the Medenbach Foundation, I really think it's important that we talk about General Medenbach and why we've named the foundation after him, and a little bit of a story about the background of the man. Saying that, let me start off by saying who I am. I'm a 5-year cadet, field music, a drummer. I graduated the high school in 1970. I returned to the college, joined the early commissioning program, graduated in 1972, second lieutenant infantry. I was also the company commander of field music and the Order of Anthony Wayne. Now, while almost every graduate says, Valley Forge changed my life, I want to go one further with me so you understand. Valley Forge did change my life, but also gave me a wife. And how did that happen? Well, my junior year of the academy in 1969, I met a young lady as a blind date at Charles E. Ellis School for Girls in Newtown Square. We began dating, and when I graduated Valley Forge 20 days later, we were married and we began our military career. 22 years in the Army, with my last assignment as the privilege of coming back to be the professor of military science. I couldn't believe that I was actually going to end my military career where I started it. I stayed there until 1994. We decided to retire, and I joined the Commandant's Department and was a tactical officer for 13 years. We left in 2007, went to my wife's hometown, and there I got a job with Family and Children's Services. Now, while I'm a 5-year cadet, love the place, tied to the family, you have to understand the Davis clan. Now, I'll start off with my son, Todd Davis. 4-year cadet, graduated the academy in 1999, E-Battery. Later, he came back as admissions officer, alumni affairs, tactical officer, and deputy commandant of cadets. He left after 9 years. I have a son-in-law, Jason Bryant, who was college, class of 94, early commissioning program. I commissioned him second lieutenant, Transportation Corps. And I have another son-in-law, Brian Geiling, 7-year cadet. Graduated the academy in 1994, college 1996 as the cadet second captain. After his college stint, he returned to Valley Forge and worked for facilities and services. And later, for the last 10 years of his 20 years at Valley Forge, he was the vice president for operations at Valley Forge. So, with all the guys, we have 18 years of cadet time. But that's not all. This is a family thing. The Davis family, the Davis clan, is connected and loves Valley Forge so much. So my wife Sally, my daughter Sandy, my daughter Lori, all worked for Valley Forge at one time. So when you add up my time, Brian's time, Todd's time, Sally's time, Lori's time, Sandy's time, it is over 60 years of Valley Forge employment. That is a true Valley Forge family. And we want to see Valley Forge continue to be the military school of the future. So my second point, the Medenbach Foundation, why I'm involved and why you need to be involved. Well, but first I want to tell you that as my time as a professor of military science and as a tactical officer, I was a board member with the Alumni Board of Directors. I was heavily involved with decision making and funding. I was in charge of the Forge Way Committee for many times. As you now know, the Board of Trustees has dissolved the Alumni Association Board of Directors. There is an Alumni Association, and we are not a replacement for the Alumni Association. We do want to be a replacement for the things they supported for the cadets and faculty, such as Gold and Silver Star recognition dinners, graduate dinners, cadet officer dining ins, tactical officer dinners, the Forge Way for staff and faculty, the Outstanding and Distinguished Alumni Awards, as well as the admissions program, just to name a couple. Those are now unfunded programs that would have to come out of the operating budget. And during these critical times with decreased enrollment, they need money. And we want to support that and provide money for cadet programs and staff recognition. They can do other things with their operating budget, but we feel as alumni and proud graduates, we need to help the cadets. That's what our mission is. We want to do it also to connect alumni, connect staff, cadet parents, cadet friends, and one complete place where we can converse in a transparent and positive way. We want to support the school and be a supporting member. We also want to preserve the customs and traditions that were established by General Medenbach, because there is nobody else that established it like he did. So what I want to do is like a call to arms. I want you to call your friends, get in touch with them, email, Facebook, and start the conversation. Look at our webpage, ask questions, and join the cause, because we want to see Valley Forge survive. Now for my third point. Why the Medenbach Foundation? Well, it's very simple. General Medenbach arrived here in 1932 and left as the president in 1971, but still remained on campus until he passed at age 99. He was a teacher, he was a tactical officer, he was a commandant, he was a president. During the formation of Valley Forge, from 1946, after World War II, when he came off of active duty, until 1970, he was the commandant of cadets, holding every staff and every cadet to a standard. That standard made Valley Forge famous. He was a drill master, he was a disciplinarian, and he held the traditions that were established at Valley Forge. He worked directly for General Baker, and General Baker had the vision, and General Medenbach was the executor. Anybody would probably tell you that their least favorite person on this campus when he was commandant of cadets was General Medenbach. But any graduate will tell you, I am the person I am today because of the standards that he set and upheld. General Medenbach lived in this house, quarters 2, from the time it was first built in 1961 until 1971. Now follow me around. Upon his retirement and pronounced the President Emeritus, General Baker gave General Medenbach the Blessing House as his permanent residence for the remainder of his life. From there, General Medenbach, on a daily basis, weekly basis, passed notes to the Commandant, to the Director of Facilities, and the President on what needed to be done or changed at Valley Forge. He was there every Sunday for chapel. He was an active part, an active voice, but he was a completely different person. He was full of stories, he was full of smiles, and he was so fun to engage with. I will tell you a story from my plebe year. Now, I was coming out of the guidance office developing my schedule, and I had to go back to the barracks for one of our little physical fitness sessions, so to say. So I decided, well, I wanted to have a cigarette, so I didn't want to go down to the butt area, and I went behind Shannon Hall and I lit a cigarette. Now, General Medenbach had an electric golf cart, painted OD green, with a top, 2 stars on it. You could never hear the thing coming. I swear, it was the most quiet thing I've ever heard. So I'm there having my cigarette with my back to the path, and all of a sudden I felt this pain in my leg, and I turn around and there's General Medenbach with this swagger stick. He proceeded to whack me on the back of my leg with the swagger stick. I was in Bombays, and he says, "Cadet, you are smoking off limits. Report to the main area and start the march." Yes, sir. Ran to the main area, began the march, and said, "Oh, I'm in trouble now." About a half an hour later, General Medenbach arrived and said, "Cadet, come here." "Reporting my presence, sir." "Why were you back there?" "Sir, I was having a cigarette." "You know that's off limits." "Yes, sir." "Why were you doing it?" "I was doing it because no excuse, sir." "Well, that's very good. What do you think your chain of command and your fellow plebes would do if I reported this to them?" I said, "Sir, I think we would be in the biggest trouble, and I would have created the biggest crap session of the century for my plebe brothers." And he says, "Exactly. Report back to barracks. I never want to see you doing this again." "Yes, sir." He never said anything to my chain of command. I sweated it out for quite a while, thinking he was going to do it. And when I was a faculty member, one Sunday after chapel, I talked to him, as I did many Sundays, and I said, "General, do you remember catching me smoking behind Shannon Hall?" He says, "No, but I'm glad I did." And I said, "I'm glad you did too, sir. It taught me a lesson." "Well, if I taught you a lesson, then I've done my job." He says, "You know, it was tough." So I don't like being the hard ass all the time. I like having fun and smiling, but somebody had to hold the standard. And I realized at that point, again, the impact he had on my life. I also know that when I was a tactical officer, what he taught me by example made me a better tactical officer. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want everybody to share stories who knew General Medenbach. Talk about it, email it, send it to us. We want to let the younger generation know why Medenbach Foundation came about and why we've named it after him. It's very important for our legacy to be recognized. Many of us still have the fond memories and the tough memories of General Medenbach. So, after today's thing, thank you for being here. I appreciate you taking the time to see the video. Now I'm going to ask you, it's a call to arms. We need you in the Medenbach Foundation. We need you to support and help us support the cadets and alumni. We need a place of transparency. We need a place where we can be positive about what we need to do for Valley Forge. With that, let your friends know, let your classmate know, get involved. And if you have any questions, call any of us board members, because the board members are here to see Valley Forge succeed.